So this is the number of training centres in the UK that offer the same course you're doing these last 3 days. So they offer the same course you're doing the last 3 days. You can see we've got 2 in Scotland, 2 in Northern Ireland, 3 in Wales, and the rest in the UK. Right? What we tend to do as well is that we have spoke centres. So these are the hubs, as we would call them, the centre of the wheel. And then a few of the others have little satellite centres for also offering training and support. The first of its kind was here. So what this unit did, it associated itself with this unit here. Right? So in associating itself with that unit there, it's this unit, which is Kings Mill. So this is where we're from. These are the types of courses that we offer that are left for the rest of the year. So you can see what the courses are. So these are the train the trainers. So this course is coming up shortly. Faculty. Service lead no longer. That's actually come down here. Myself, my work wife, other consultants, overseas faculty. So you can see what we've got is that we work closely together. How to find us. So when you go on this website, you put in the type of course you want to do. So you can search for the course. We have mandated courses. So this course in the UK, for you to be practicing to do endoscopy, you have to do. Regardless if you've done 400, 500, 1,000, if you qualified within the last 12 years, you have to do this course. Have to. Upper GI, it's mandated. Okay? Again. But what they want you to do is upper GI first, because then you do a few more basic things on it. We're changing how these are, because I am now the chair and cover all of this. But we are changing how these courses are delivered. So at the moment, the colon course is delivered over 3 days. You can actually look at delivering this course over 2 days. But what you guys in Pakistan need to do is look at how to make the course for Pakistan, but still stick with a core concept. You have a very good core concept. What I'm saying is here you are focused on doing a lot of hands-on. Hands-on is what guys want. Hands-on is what guys need, and that's what you have to do. The other courses that are offered, basic courses, skills improvement courses, courses for nurses and courses for trainers, coaches, as I see. Now we have upskill course for people who've done colonoscopy. This is not an upskill course, this is a course to open the door for you to new ideas. You go away, you practice, you come back in a year's time when you've got another 200-300 under your belt, and then we do the upskill courses. Some of you may want to do polyp courses. Polyps are very hard to do, but if you've done 400-500 colons, you're starting to have the finesse, the fine technique with the scope. That's then when it's suitable for you to take on and the challenge of doing a course where you could do larger polyps. And that's then when you'd look at doing that. You shouldn't take, and you won't be allowed in the UK, to take on anything above your competence. And it won't be allowed. In my unit, you will not be allowed to do anything that, quite simply put, I don't allow you to do. So it's as simple as that. So if you come and you say you can do level 3 polyps, which is polyps greater than 30 millimetre, I'll say show me the evidence. If you show me the evidence, I will then go and ring up your previous boss and I'll say, this guy who you've accredited says this. I do that. And I will ask. I want to see the evidence and I will check on it. And that's what we're looking at. We're looking at safety. In the UK, we've got to be very safe. Not that you're not safe here, but people take on things that they might not have the complete skill set to do so. When you look at polyp, when you're looking at incomplete resections, as Nizam showed you on Wednesday on his presentation, that therefore is the guys who may not have had the skill set, took on something too big, and were too proud to ask someone from next door to come through. But that doesn't happen in our unit, because if we allocate you a polyp, we'll also allocate you somebody to work with you as well with that polyp. And that's how we do it. So when we come to doing courses, it's very important to actually sort them out. So the types of courses that are on offer nationally, you can click this and we wait for this. So as soon as we see, you'll see all sorts of courses that come up. EUS, capsule, they're all coming in. ERCP, they're all coming in. It's taking its while. We're looking at basic skills upper GI, therapeutic skills upper GI. You guys tend to be lucky here, is that you tend to be shown basic skills, and when you've only done like 200 or so gastroscopies, some of you guys are off doing all sorts of therapeutic upper GI stuff. So here we go, basic skills upper GI. It shows you what place is available. My place isn't available. What courses? This shows you how much is on lecture, how much is on practical. Hands-on 60%. Hands-on 60%. That means 2 out of the 3 days is completely practical. You'll take that on thinking that you're going to do 2 out of 3 days completely practical. You're not. You're going to do at maximum 4 colons. 4 colons is basically a morning's work. So, in effect, that's not quite correct. That's 1/6 of the course time. So when you look at it, you think 60% is going to be you doing practical. It's not. You're actually only doing 1/6 of that as practical, because it's 4 colons. Basic skills colonoscopy, these are what's available. As you can see, upper. Again, no one. Animal model. So we do animals. Which is here we go again, another course. We actually now do pediatric, consented pediatric patients, 2-day course. Introduction to ERCP. Introduction to ERCP doesn't mean you'll get your hands on a scope. As you can see, it's an introduction, so you don't get your hands on a scope. Here we go now, this course. Colonoscopy trained trainers, 45%. I have 2 places left for next week. Costs you £800 to come and do it. So it sounds a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money in that sense. 45% of the time. That's 50% of the time. And that is true, because you will end up as a person who's coming on the course, 1 of 4, and you are going to do half a day activity, so that's 25%, but then you actually reverse the role and then you do practical demonstrations yourself. So hands-on doesn't necessarily mean on patients on that particular course. Gastroscopy. Train the trainer on that. Train the trainer on ERCP. Polypectomy improvement. It's very hard. Now these guys are saying 30%. Now, if you actually come to me, it is 30%. So you'll come to us, there's 3 of you, and you'll do 33% is practical, and it's all one day. You'll do 2 cases, and they will be based on your skills experience. So if you were in this hospital, and then you wanted to do our course, Sharia being the professor here, Sajra being the professor here, one of those would give you a reference, saying, yes, I support them in what they're doing. And yes, the information you've put down on the form is correct. So then you come to me saying you want to do LSTs, lateral spreading tumours, lifting this, that and the other. I'll put you one on. But then if you come to me and you've never taken off a polyp greater than 10 millimetre and what you've put down on the form wasn't correct, I don't tell you off. I'll ring up Sajda or Sharia and I say, guys, what are you playing at? I've got a guy here now, I've got a 5 centimetre polyp and he's never taken anything off more than 10 millimetres. What's going on? And it's not your fault, you want to do it, but these guys should be your gatekeeper and should be making sure that you actually, and that's the problem we've got with the UK system at the moment. Guys are coming through who are inappropriately placed at a too early a stage. And they don't like to say no, the professors or the consultants. So here we are, polypectomy skills, Ours goes. All my courses gone. So what that means is that because we specifically make sure that the polyps on it are for you, are aimed for you. Upskilling colonoscopy. People want to come for a one-day course. It costs £500 to have their established skill set challenged. So in other words, you come, you've been successful, you've got a 95% cecal intubation rate, and you want to be better. So you come to us and we'll look at what you do and we'll say, look, this is what you're doing. Play videos back to you of you. Critique what you're doing. Get you to critique yourself. That's how we do it. ERCP trainer, EUS. New course. Simulators, don't bother with it. Waste of time. Ultrasound, again. Intermediate skills. Waste of time. Don't do it. It's a way of getting £500 out of you, just to say to you, remember to use torque steering. So those are the type of courses that are on offer. You can go by centre. Click the centre of choice, find courses, and it'll tell you what's left on their programme for the next 2 years when it decides to work. So courses themselves are also dependent upon whether you've got what we call JAG accreditation. They've lost theirs, so they've been suspended as a course programme, so they can't offer courses. They can offer courses if they join under the support of another centre that has got JAG accreditation. So JAG accreditation is very important to get. Okay. Now, when we look at this, we then come across to it. You can actually look at this and see what it is. So you've got course centre details. So you can see what the details about our centre. Course administration, course schedule, staff administration, trust user admin. What this is, when it comes up, this is a list of all the trainees who we have. All the trainees down to this point here. Now this guy has finally shown me he's accredited. He's actually a consultant. He's been a consultant for 4 years, but he's still down as a trainee. Now this is a guy who I refused to accredit until about 3 months ago, because all of a sudden now he's given me his portfolio, but his portfolio is not signed off. So until I sign it off, it remains, even though he's a consultant under that system, a trainee. This guy's a consultant, and he's still down as a trainee. Then we have all these trainers. We can see, come down. Zia, he's a trainer. He used to be, came as a clinical fellow to us. Now he is based at Patel Hospital, and he did all sorts of courses with us when he was there for the year. And now he's come back here, works at Patel, and he is actually a trainer. If we actually come down here, we see that they've all got numbers attached to the names. Can you see? 3s, 4s, 5s. This 6, maximum 6. 6 stands for the fact that you are a trainer, trainer. So you come along and you can, that's where you are. That's independently, you don't do that yourself. You cannot give yourself 6. You actually have to go, do the courses, deliver the courses, and then be assessed by your peers. And it's not going along and being liked by your peers, it's actually doing what is the correct thing. So you do all this. ERCP I don't do anymore, so it stays there. So when you look at this, you can actually then come across and say to yourself, let's review the portfolio. This is my portfolio. Now bear in mind, Bakar, myself, I've been doing endoscopy for 30 years plus. Now we were before this. So being before this, we don't have to do this. You guys would. So if you actually look and see what number of procedures I've done, my JAG certification, I'm always quite happy to show you this. For OGD, nothing. See? So I don't do that. I'm accredited through a different route because I predate this. So if you predate it, that's fine. And you can evidence. So overview is this. So predate, not a problem. So if we look at what you're doing here, which is the colon, under our system, we would look at you doing this. Granted, if you've got it. Cecal intubation rate, you need to be above 90% in all comers. Unassisted physically, greater than 90, so you've got to have done that in greater than 90%. So in other words, if it's 200 is the ceiling, then it's 180 procedures that you physically did the test without anybody's help whatsoever. Polyp detection and removal, greater than 10%. Sedation rate, for under 70-year-olds, no more than 5 milligrams. Over 70, 2.5. So they actually have a rule in the UK, anybody over 70 never have more than 2 milligrams in your syringe. Therefore you protect the aged. Pethidine, analgesia. So if you actually look at what my current practice is, 78% of patients don't get pain relief, as in fentanyl, pethidine, and don't get midazolam. 10% then get fentanyl, so that takes me to 88%, and 12% get both. And that's currently what's happening. Number of procedures completed. Total lifetime. Until you reach that magical figure, and over that 90% are unassisted, you won't get accreditation in the UK. DOPS and DOPIS, you see here, that stands for removing of polyps. Level 2 polyps. That's polyps up to less than 3 centimetres. Small sessile, EMRs, etc. I don't agree with this bit. Because personally, anybody who's only done 200, for them to take off a 30mm polyp just under, that's a challenge in itself. And I'm not a great fan of this. Okay? So when we do training, and when we talk about get people to actually do things, we can actually come to something like this. So faculty feedback. Now this is real. This is real information. So the program started in 2008. Okay? If we look, overall, the trainers in this, who are here, this is their real data. So I'm showing you real data, not made up data. This is not made up. If we take, gives me useful constructive feedback, and we come straight down to here. So 80% strongly agree that all the trainers listed up here, 80% of the time gave constructive feedback. Here we are, we're looking at 85%. Is a skilled teacher, strongly agree. Then we get yellow, agree. Then we get neutral. And if we look here, there's a faint red every now and again. Very, very faint red. That means that they weren't a skilled teacher, that they weren't a good role model, they don't promote team working, they don't evaluate me fairly, etc., etc. So if we come up here and look at trainers, so we look, we can see that 90% of the time it's green for this person, okay? We can see yellows is for the rest of the time. This is real. This is something that I would like to see in Pakistan. But people This is you guys. You're filling this in on me. You're filling this in on me. Right? And this is what's happening. I don't know what you're writing. I'm not there when you write it. We fill out stuff on you, but this is you guys about us. Not him about me, not him about me, me about him. This is your information. So this trainer, right, benefited a lot from this course, Learning Expectations. Good teacher, excellent, etc. Teacher who gives beyond candidate, all that type of stuff. So you end up, these are comments by the trainees, but this is all anonymous. I don't know which trainees have done it. And that's, for you, you can then write things that you feel safe that it's going to be anonymized and isn't going to be challenged. So you can see what's written. Very useful, friendly environment, all these type of stuff. Right. Quick to assess, glad that I have had the opportunity. And then what we do is that, just out of interest, go back, right back when. Like this is right at the beginning. So, teacher, very good. So nothing's ever changed. It's always been a constant. And what we're looking at is data from, again, 2008 to 2017. So from when it started. So we sit down, look at it. That is actually 11, nearly 10 years of data. So it's really good. Then if we look at a different trainer, so that, and we look, say, at this guy. Now this guy is national lead, head of bowel cancer screening, head of all sorts of stuff. And we can see again a variance in what we do. So just because of who you are, he also has done similar dates. The last one, see the dates? He also has done similar numbers. Not as many as the previous one, but similar numbers. But extremely accomplished, etc., etc., etc. So you can actually, and if you look, faint red. So there is reds in there, but ignore it. But what it does, it enables us, as supposedly senior guys, to look at what we're doing and seeing if we're actually matching what your needs are and the needs of the service. Because sometimes we ask you to feedback about us, happy about that, happy about this. I say to you, if you're going to say something not so complimentary, have the politeness to actually tell me to my face. I'm not going to excuse it, I'm not going to have a go at you, I'm not going to say anything. This is what I say to the guys. But if you're going to write it up here, then, I don't think that's fair in the sense of, but if you've got something, if I haven't matched your needs, then that's a two-way thing. Because in the UK, you spend £1,000 for this course to £1,200, depending on the centre. 1,000, and what's that in rupees, £1,000? 1,40,000 you would pay for this course. How much have you paid for this course? £50? $35. You got it cheap, man. 35,000. What's that in English? £180. Still cheap. So when you sit down and work out what the price of the courses is, and you've actually had a better experience here than what a lot of the guys get in the UK. They'll come, they'll do 3, possibly 4. You guys have come, you've done 6, I think. 6. And you've seen, and we've critiqued. So everything is not the same. Everything here, and to be honest with you, you're going to say, well, who's going to say anything? I know.
Can we stop this at this slide and come back? We'll take about 15 minutes.
I'm nearly done anyway.
You're almost done?
Yeah, almost done. So as you can see, this person has been going 2 years shorter than myself, and they've got reds. So that's nothing against this person. However, with my role, I have to go and see this person, talk to them, and find out why they have not been able to give the experience that those individuals want. You come to the course, he asked you what your expectation, what your experience was. We then match up the course to your skill set. Then on the day we say, are you happy, everything going on? If you, at the end of day 3 in the UK, I'll do the same. end of halfway through the first day, end of the second day, etc. If you say at the end of it, this didn't meet your needs, I've given you so many opportunities in the UK to actually say, what is it you wanted? I then become dischuffed if you say that the course wasn't for you. Doesn't happen. Huh? I'm the current lead for this year. Yeah, I stay the lead for this for 3 years. So what you see there is a system that we use, a system that's very successful in the UK. It's going to actually get bigger. It is being rolled out throughout the world. Australia, America is taking on board, Canada, New Zealand. I think you could run a very similar system in Pakistan. The only problem you've got is people want to protect this type of thing, and who would manage it. Okay?